Okay, hey there, everybody. Welcome to week 5. We are officially in the back half of the term now, which is really exciting. You can tell it's a little darker here now, so apologies for sending a little bit of a late video. But I wanted to make sure that I could get this in today. In my announcement earlier, I noted that this would just be around a 5-minute video, so I want to try to keep it tight for you. But I also want to remind you of a couple of things and give you some encouragement as we move into the second half of the term. So, to that end, um, let me give you a couple of things to watch for this week, and then give you some tips for Module 5. So, Module 5 is all about about place in poetry. So we're thinking about where poetry happens. We're also talking about where poetry is written and what place might or how place might influence the poetry that's written. So we look at some Native American poetry this during this module, which I think is really important. We have some work with Joy Harjo, uh, who is a Native American poet who is also the poet laureate of the United States in years past. And we have some reader responses connected to that and also a discussion connected to these ideas of place. We have some notes on place here that I encourage you to look at. Here's a picture of Indianapolis skyline and some other things. Um, uh, Old photo of a dad hanging out with the dog in Lake Michigan and so on. But at the top here, there's a link to Yusef Komunyakaa. Yusef Komunyakaa is my favorite poet. So this might go 1 minute longer, just to note that there's a picture of Yusef Komunyakaa. Um, Love Yusef Komunyaka's writing, especially his early writing. It sounds, cliche to say that it's like your favorite band, right? It's like, oh, I really love their early album, but their later stuff got a little weird. And that's kind of how I feel about Yusef Komunyakaa in some ways. I like a lot of his earlier books more so than his later books, but his later books are still good. And in fact, I just read one last month called War Horses in a little poetry group. I meet with a couple of other people at the end of the month, and we read a book of poetry each month, and ideally bring a poem that we've written to share. And then we talk about that book, and then we also, read our poems and maybe get a little quick feedback. So anyway, I've tried to link to a lot of different things here, and I encourage you to follow those links, read those poems, expand your poetic boundaries with that, and really use that for your own personal intellectual poetry growth. We have a quiz this week connected to our notes, connected to our ideas of poetry and place. But then you're also going to see a little extra credit thing pop up here. We are not in Poetry Month. That's in April. So sometimes it can be a little harder to find a poetry related event or reading. But if you can find one, whether that is a digital event or one that you would go to in person, you can earn some extra credit in the class. So I would encourage you to maybe just explore and see what might be around you. So there's that. And then don't forget that you have your midterm exam due tonight. So I know most of us have submitted this already, but remember you have two chances at it. So, don't, if you get something you don't like, remember, go back and go through again. Because what's most important is that you learn, that you grow, that can then show that learning through through your midterm score. All right. So that's what I have here as just a quick module overview piece. But now to just speak to you one-on-one as, professor to student, we are in the second half of the semester now. And, these 8-week class terms go by super duper quickly. So remember that if you're feeling a little tired, if you're feeling a little burnt out, that's completely normal, completely natural. And what you just have to convince yourself to do is to keep pushing through over these next couple of weeks, keeping up with your good routines, taking care of yourself, your body, trying to avoid getting sick and getting derailed. And then remember that I'm here for you if you have questions, thoughts, concerns, etc. I'll always give you extensions if you request them before the due date. And I'm always here to answer a quick question related to explaining an assignment in a slightly different way, or trying to explain your grade in a slightly different way if you're unsure what you lost points on something. Because my hope is that you'll reach out to me when you have questions and I can help you and help you be successful in our course. Now, you've submitted things in Module 4. I'll aim to start grading those this week. I'm probably not going to get to any grading tonight, and tomorrow is a very busy day for me, but maybe by Wednesday I'll start grading some things. And my goal always is to try to return things within 1 week to you. So watch for those grades. Let me know if you have questions. Enjoy some notes about poetry, notes about place and poetry this week. Learn about some new poets. Definitely read some more Yusef Komunyakaa. And let me know what you think of them if you end up reading a couple of Komunyakaa poems. Maybe you like it, maybe you hate it, maybe you tell me I'm crazy. Just reach out to me. Send me an email. Let me know what you think about Komunyakaa's writing. So there's that. Take good care, everybody. I'll end this now. Apologies for going over 5 minutes, and have a great week.